All right, buckle up everybody, because today we are taking a deep dive into AI image generation.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, we're going to be tackling this tool called Flux Gym.
Interesting.
And you send over some GitHub documentation on it.
Yeah.
And just from looking at it, it seems like it can be a total game changer for anyone who wants to get into making AI images, especially if they've ever felt limited by needing a super powerful computer or, all the tech specs.
For sure. Yeah, AI image generation is getting super popular right now, and
It is.
everyone's looking for ways to make AI models do exactly what they want.
Right, to get those images just right.
Exactly. And Flux Gym is really cool because it lets you train a specific part of the AI model
Oh, wow.
without needing one of those crazy expensive graphics cards.
Okay, so let me read this description from the README.
Okay.
Dead simple web UI for training FLUX LoRa with low VRAM, 12 GB, 16 GB, 20 GB support. Okay, so I'm all for simplicity, but is it really dead simple?
Well, let's just say it's way more accessible than a lot of the other methods out there.
Okay.
To understand why that's such a big deal, think of it like this.
Okay.
Imagine you're trying to learn a new skill, like playing piano.
Okay.
You could relearn everything from scratch, or you could focus on practicing specific techniques to get better.
Right.
LoRa is kind of like that focus practice. It lets you train like a smaller, specialized part of a larger AI model.
Okay.
And doing that on less powerful hardware just opens up tons of possibilities for people who can't afford those top-of-the-line setups.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So less about relearning everything and more about fine-tuning to get the results you want.
Exactly.
Nice.
And Flux Gym makes that whole fine-tuning process so much easier, especially compared to some of the more complex tools out there.
Got it. So in the what is this section, they highlight that it's super simple.
Yeah.
Offers a ton of flexibility, especially compared to other options.
Right.
But what exactly makes it so special in the world of AI image generation?
Well, think of it as bridging a gap.
Okay.
On one end, you have these simple, user-friendly AI image generators, but they don't let you customize much.
Right.
On the other end, you have the really powerful tools, things like Koya scripts, which can get really complex and require some serious technical know-how.
Yeah. If you're not a programmer,
Exactly.
that can be intimidating.
Flux Gym kind of sits right in the sweet spot.
Okay.
It gives you a user-friendly interface, but you can still use those powerful Koya scripts. So
Interesting.
you get way more customization options.
It's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So let's talk about those customization options.
Okay.
What kind of models does Flux Gym actually support?
It actually works with several versions of the Flux model, including Flux One Dev, Flux One Dev 2 Pro, and Flux One Schnell. But here's the best part.
Okay.
It automatically downloads them for you.
Wait, so I don't have to go and hunt for them online or anything?
Oh, that's incredibly convenient.
Definitely streamlines things.
Yeah.
And the users can even add more models if they want.
Wow, that's impressive. So having all these different base models to choose from, that must have a huge impact on
Oh, yeah, totally.
the kinds of images you can create.
Think of each model as like a starting point. Each one has its own style and strengths.
Okay.
So if you're into anime, you'd pick a model trained on anime images.
Makes sense.
Or if you want really photorealistic images, you'd go for a model trained on real-world photos.
Okay, so it's all about picking the right tool for what you're trying to do.
Exactly. It's like choosing a specific paintbrush depending on what you're painting.
I like that analogy. So let's say I've got my model picked out.
Okay.
What are the actual steps to use Flux Gym?
Okay.
The usage section makes it sound super straightforward.
It really is.
Okay.
First, you just enter some basic information about your LoRa array.
Okay.
Kind of like setting the stage, things like the name you want to give it, how fast you want it to learn, that's the learning rate,
Right.
and how long you want to train it for, the training steps.
So setting the parameters for the whole training process.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it. What's next?
Then you upload a set of images, just like you'd feed information to a student, but here's the key.
All right.
You also need to provide captions for each image, describing exactly what's in them.
Got it.
This helps the model understand the connection between the image and the words you use.
So it's all about giving the AI clear instructions and examples.
Exactly.
Make sense, and then I just hit start.
Got it.
Wow.
From there, Flux Gym takes over and starts training your LoRa based on the images and captions you gave it.
Wow. It really is surprisingly simple.
It is.
3 steps, and you're training your own AI model. But this is where things get really interesting. You can actually see the LoRa learning and evolving in real time.
Right.
It's like watching a student grasp a new concept right before your eyes. You're talking about the sample images, right?
Yes.
As Flux Gym is training your LoRa, it generates sample images based on specific prompts.
Okay.
That you give it, it's like giving the student a little pop quiz to see how they're doing.
Exactly. So instead of waiting till the end to see the results, you get these sneak peeks along the way.
Yeah.
That's got to be super helpful for figuring out if it's learning what you want it to.
It is. It's really valuable for fine-tuning that training process.
Right.
So imagine you're teaching someone to paint portraits.
Okay.
You wouldn't just let them paint for hours without any feedback.
You'd want to give them some tips.
You'd check in, offer suggestions, make adjustments along the way.
Right. Make sure they're on the right track.
The sample images are like those checkpoints.
Okay.
They give you a glimpse into the AI's thought process, so to speak.
Right.
And you can make adjustments as needed.
I like that analogy. So it's not just like blindly feeding the model data. It's about actively guiding it towards the results that you want. Exactly. And it gets even cooler.
Wow.
You can use specific prompts to guide the model even further.
Okay, so I could say something like,
Yeah.
show me a picture of a cat wearing a hat. And the LoRa would try to generate an image based on that.
Exactly. And you can get really specific with your prompts too.
Okay.
You could say like, show me a fluffy orange tabby cat wearing a purple top hat sitting in a sunny window.
That's pretty specific.
Yeah.
Incredible. The level of control you have is amazing.
It is.
But the ReEd also mentions controlling the image seed. What's that all about?
The seed value.
Yeah.
This is where we get into the world of randomness in AI.
Okay.
A lot of AI image generation relies on random numbers to come up with unique outputs.
Okay.
It's like rolling a dice. You never know exactly what you're going to get.
Right.
But the seed acts as a starting point for that random generation.
Okay.
If you use a random seed, every image will be different, even if you use the same prompt.
So like rolling the dice over and over again. You never get the same thing twice.
But if you set a specific seed, you're basically fixing that starting point. So every time you generate an image with that seed, you'll get the same basic structure.
So it's like rolling the dice and always landing on the same number.
Exactly.
Wait, so I can control the randomness.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do that?
It's all about seeing how the LoRa is learning.
Okay.
Let's say you have 3 prompts, each with the same seed. As the training goes on, you'll see those images change and get more refined based on the data.
Okay.
You're feeding the model. You're not just getting random samples. You're getting a visual history of how the LoRa is interpreting your instructions.
Well, it's like watching the AI's creative process unfold.
Yeah, kind of.
That's so cool.
It is.
But the ReEd also mentioned something about advanced sample images.
Yeah.
What's the difference between those and the regular ones?
So think of it this way.
Okay.
The regular sample images give you a good general sense of how things are progressing. But the advanced ones give you even more control.
Okay.
Remember those Kohya scripts we talked about earlier?
Yeah, the super powerful ones that could be a bit tricky.
Exactly.
If you're not a programmer.
The advanced sample images let you leverage some of that Kohya power without having to actually use the scripts themselves.
Wow. Okay.
They give you really fine-grained control over things like the image size, the level of detail, even the negative prompt.
Okay, I remember you mentioning negative prompts before.
Yeah.
What are those again?
It's basically a way to tell the AI what you don't want to see in the image.
Okay.
Like if you're generating an image of a forest, you could use a negative prompt to say no animals.
That's right. It's a way to refine the image and exclude stuff you don't want.
Exactly.
So with Flux Gym, I have all these tools to fine-tune the image generation.
You do.
From controlling the randomness with C's
Yeah.
to using negative prompts to exclude stuff.
It's pretty amazing how much control you have over the final output.
It really is. It's pretty incredible.
And it's not just about the individual images. It's about streamlining that whole training process.
Oh, you're talking about the caption files, right?
Yes.
The ReEd mentions uploading those instead of typing out captions for each image.
Exactly. If you're working with a huge data set,
Right.
typing in all those captions would take forever.
Yeah, no thanks.
Caption files let you create separate text files with your captions.
Okay,
Makes the whole thing way more efficient.
that's such a time saver.
It is.
But there's a catch, right? The naming has to be specific.
You're right. You got to be really careful with the naming.
Yeah.
Like, if your image is named image001.pne, your caption file needs to be named image001.txt.
Okay, so it can match them up.
Exactly. It's a small thing, but it makes sure Flux Gym can match everything up correctly.
Got it. Organization is key.
It is.
So we've talked about training LoRa's, generating sample images,
Yeah.
and those caption files. But I know Flux Gym is built on those Kohya scripts,
Yeah.
which sounds kind of technical.
It can be.
Do I need to be like a coding whiz to use it?
No, not at all. That's one of the best things about Flux Gym.
Okay.
It's designed to be accessible. You don't need any coding experience to use the basic features.
Okay, that's good to know.
But for those who are comfortable with a little more technical stuff, there's the advanced tab.
Oh, right. We mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Like the secret level for power users.
Exactly. By default, it's hidden.
Okay.
But if you click on it, you unlock the full power and flexibility of those Koya scripts.
So it caters to both beginners and experienced users.
Yeah, it does.
That's really cool. Okay, we've covered training LoRa's, sample images, caption files, even the advanced stuff with the Koya scripts. Anything else we should know about Flux Gym before we move on?
There's one more thing I want to touch on.
Okay.
It really shows how much the developers care about user experience and security. Okay. It's about sharing the LoRa's you create.
You're talking about publishing to Hugging Face.
Exactly. Hugging Face is a really popular platform for hosting and sharing AI models. And Flux Gym makes it super easy to share your creations with the world.
Okay.
But it's not just about ease of use, it's about security too.
Right, because you need a Hugging Face token to publish.
Yeah.
And those are like your personal access key.
Exactly. Sharing those directly can be kind of risky.
Right.
But Flux Gym handles it really securely.
Okay.
It only asks for your token once and then saves it to a local file on your computer.
Oh, so it never leaves your machine.
Exactly. So there's less risk of it being compromised.
Oh, that's a relief.
Yeah.
It really shows that they're thinking about security and privacy, which is super important when you're dealing with sensitive stuff like API tokens.
Absolutely. It's a small detail, but it shows how thoughtfully designed it is.
Right, the little things.
They've really gone above and beyond to create something that's not only powerful, but also secure and easy to use.
So to sum it all up, Flux Gym is like a total game changer for anyone interested in AI image generation.
Yeah, I think so.
It's user-friendly, super powerful, and packed with thoughtful features for both beginners and advanced users. Plus, it's designed with security in mind, making it a safe and reliable platform to explore the creative possibilities of AI.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It really is exciting to see AI tools becoming more accessible and empowering people to create such incredible things.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of incredible things, the Reatomy actually highlights how people are using Flux Gym in the real world.
Oh, cool.
And let me tell you, it's pretty inspiring.
You're talking about that, how people are using Flux Gym section, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's one thing to understand the technical features,
Right.
But it's another to see them in action.
Exactly. Like, it's one thing to read a cookbook, but another to taste the delicious dishes.
That's a good way to put it.
Thankfully, the Reatomy apprentice to this platform called Pinocchio. Yeah, basically a showcase of all the awesome stuff people are creating with Flux Gym.
Oh, wow.
It's like a curated gallery of AI-powered creativity.
That's amazing.
And the sheer diversity of projects is so fascinating.
Oh, I bet. What kind of things are people doing?
People are using it for everything. Generating custom anime characters.
Oh,
creating photorealistic portraits. Even designing unique fonts.
wow, that's incredible.
It really shows how versatile Flux Gym is. And how powerful LoRa's are for customizing AI models for a bunch of different creative things.
Yeah, it's like having a set of brushes that can paint in any style imaginable.
It is. It's pretty mind-blowing how people are pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
It really speaks to the democratizing power of technology.
I agree.
By making these tools more accessible, we're opening up so many creative possibilities.
Right. For everyone, even if they don't have technical expertise.
Yeah.
And that's something worth celebrating.
Definitely.
So you've heard about the features, seen how people are using it. But now the question is, what could you create with a tool like Flux Gym?
Ooh, good question.
What creative visions are just waiting to be brought to life?
That's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this duck dive so exciting.
It is.
We're not just looking at a tool, we're looking at the potential of human creativity amplified by AI.
Absolutely. And as AI keeps evolving.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast it's moving.
Who knows what other amazing tools and creative possibilities will pop up.
That's the thrill of it all. There's always something new to discover.
Yeah.
Something new to create, that's what makes it so rewarding.
So if you're ready to go on your own AI-powered creative adventure, we definitely recommend checking out the Flux Gym GitHub repository.
It's a great place to start.
We'll include a link in the show notes.
Okay.
And a link to the Pinocchio collection, too.
Oh.
So you can see all those amazing projects we talked about.
Awesome.
And as always, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep experimenting.
Yeah.
And keep diving deep into the world of AI.
It's an amazing world out there.
Until next time, happy creating. It's like we've been handed this incredible set of artists' tools.
Yeah.
And now we get to see all the amazing things people are making with them.
It is pretty amazing.
But before we get too caught up in all the possibilities, let's take a step back and remember that Flux Gym is actually built on these things called Kohia scripts, right?
That's right. It's a really cool example of how open source development can lead to some really innovative stuff.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't coding wizards,
Yeah.
can you break down what Kohia scripts are and why they matter in this whole Flux Gym thing?
So imagine Kohia scripts like a set of powerful instructions for training these AI models, especially for image generation.
Okay.
They give you this really granular control over the whole training process,
Right.
but they usually require using command line interfaces, which can be intimidating.
Yeah, if you're not a programmer, that can be a steep learning curve.
What Flux Gym does so well is it takes all that power from the Kohia scripts and puts it into a user-friendly interface.
So it's kind of like having a professional chef translate a really complicated recipe into something anyone can follow. That's a great analogy.
It makes it way more accessible.
So even though I don't need to understand the ins and outs of Kohia scripts to use Flux Gym, just knowing they're the foundation of it all makes me appreciate it even more. It's like knowing that my favorite bakery uses high-quality ingredients.
Exactly.
It gives me confidence in the final product.
And I think that's something worth highlighting.
Yeah.
Flux Gym doesn't try to hide the complexity. It embraces it and makes it accessible for everyone.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, hey, we know this stuff can be tough, but we've done the hard work to simplify it for you.
Exactly. They've made it user-friendly without sacrificing the power.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about the features of Flux Gym, seen some real-world examples, and even dug a little deeper into the technical side with Kohia scripts.
Right.
But before we wrap up this deep dive,
I'm
curious about something.
Okay, what is it?
What do you think are some of the big implications of making these powerful AI tools so readily available?
That's a great question, and one I think a lot of people are thinking about right now.
Yeah, it's a big one.
On one hand, you have this huge potential for creativity and innovation. We're seeing people create things with AI that we couldn't even dream of a few years ago.
It's incredible.
It's like giving everyone a superpower.
Yeah. Imagine a world where anyone can bring their creative visions to life.
Right.
No matter their technical skills.
Exactly. But like with any powerful tool, there's always the potential for misuse.
That's true.
We have to be mindful of the ethical implications.
Absolutely.
And make sure these tools are used responsibly.
It's not just about the tech itself.
Right. It's about how we use it. It's like fire. Right? It can be used for good, like cooking and warmth, but it can also be incredibly destructive.
Yeah, if it's not handled carefully.
Exactly. We need to have open and honest conversations about the risks and benefits of AI.
I agree.
And work together to come up with guidelines for ethical development and use.
It's a big challenge, but an important one.
It is, especially as AI becomes a bigger part of our lives.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive into Flux Gym, the big takeaway is this.
Okay.
We're at the start of an amazing era of creativity and innovation powered by AI, and tools like Flux Gym are making this technology accessible to everyone.
Absolutely.
Empowering people to bring their ideas to life in ways we never thought possible.
It's truly remarkable.
But with this power comes responsibility.
Right.
We need to approach AI with a sense of ethics and awareness.
I agree.
Making sure we're using it for good and minimizing the risks.
Well said.
All right, deep divers, that's it for today's episode.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed exploring the world of AI image generation and learning about Flux Gym.
Yeah, it's a really cool tool.
If you're feeling inspired, definitely check out the GitHub repo.
And the Pinocchio collection.
Yeah, you can see what other creators are up to.
It's really inspiring.
As always, keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep diving deep into the world of AI.
Until next time.
Happy creating, everyone.